and welcome to Spiritual Energy Dynamics, the radio version. My name is Liz Starkey, and I'm here with Robert Tum, live and in person.
Hi, everybody. I hope the day is off to a good start wherever you are, day, evening, afternoon, morning, whatever. But it's a beautiful day here in Florida, and we're looking forward to some warm weather, and it's like springtime out here. So it's really happy energy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and we're going to get that warm weather for about the next 8 months. So be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be almost 90 today, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So anyway, how are you today, Liz?
Oh, good. Trying to get my engine running, if you will, but I think I've got it into second gear at least. So that's nice.
Yeah, same here. Just, we've had a couple early starts in the morning, and yesterday was a very busy day working with people, and very fun, but a crowded, busy day. So I'm grateful for all the interaction and my clients and friends and students. I'm very grateful for everybody. So anybody listening in, thank you. Sending lots of love and appreciation.
Nice. I've got something I'd like to kick off the show with, and then I think I'll just put the ball in your court after that and see where things take us.
Okay, that sounds good. No real scripting here today, but we're going to let it flow with another metaphysical topic or a review of some things today. So please kick us off and let's get going.
Okay, so I'm going to share with y'all the Rose Prayer. And apparently it's the Dalai Lama's favorite prayer. And I have to agree, it's a good one. So here we go, the Rose Prayer. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world.
Wow, that's beautiful, Liz. I can see why it's a favorite.
Thank you.
Makes a lot of sense, and there's a lot of applicable things to what we see going on around us in the world, And I know in my perspective of things is as I look at so many different things and dig into stuff deeply and try to validate and discern and clarify things, I do believe that world of all the things that are trying to manifest via that the mantra, that poem, are there as possible, just waiting at a door, waiting to come in. I think there is prosperity for everybody. I think there is freedom. I think there is flexibility. I think there are all those things waiting that have been stymied and held back and manipulated and controlled. So I think if we can all hold this image of what we see the future to be, I think it's right at the door. And I think we need to hold that confidence and continue to see that's the secret of the law of attraction, is to hold in our mind like it's already manifested. And I think as a group of everybody listening and everybody on some kind of spiritual path and connected to the soul, to the light, as we in unity look at things in a positive perspective within reality and the aspects of discernment, I think we can bring the manifestation forward quicker.
Absolutely, Robert. And, I think we've touched on this before in previous episodes, but, we are programmed essentially to wake up and read the newspaper and watch the morning news as we brush our teeth and come home and finish our day with the evening news. And it's all bad news. And it's all meant to keep us scared and afraid of each other. And so I think if we can become aware of its influence and go less to a place to get information and instead create a quiet place where we do visualize, where we do spend time bringing harmonious energies in and happiness and joy and seeing the future Garden of Eden that Earth is and once was. We are capable of bringing that into manifestation, and I am 100% confident and optimistic that it's going to happen.
Absolutely. I think that's beyond just hope. We all have to hold a level of confidence that it is happening in spite of anything we hear or see out there, because the good things that are happening all over the world really don't get a lot of attention on the media. And we know there's more good things going on than negative. It's just that, the focus is always on the negative things that happen. But I do believe that I believe there's thousands of technologies out there to help us clean the environment, to fix things, to have healing without all the drugs and vaccines and everything like that. I think there's healing available through natural ways, and I think there's a lot of high technology things that we might even see on a Star Trek type program. The technology is there. It's just been suppressed, and I think it's going to come out here one of these days. Who knows? Can't put a timetable on it, but I think it's around the corner. I really feel that way.
Yeah, and what I find extremely honorable about the rose prayer that I just shared, and the idea of the Dalai Lama coming back and back and back into reincarnation until every person on earth is freed from these chains. I think that's extremely honorable, because I can't imagine how frustrating it is to continue to come back to earth in various embodiments and see the history and the what society is and these ideologies and the continual pollution and damage to earth, and to not eventually get to a point where you say, all right, well, I'm out. And the idea behind the Dalai Lama is, we're going to keep doing this until this happens. And we're going to keep coming back and back and back until the lowest of vibrating humans is freed from these bounds. And I just have so much respect for that.
Mm-hmm. It's an awesome challenge, and we know that there's thousands of individuals like the Dalai Lama that don't get the recognition, don't want the recognition, that are coming back to try to raise consciousness, try to bring things into balance and alignment. And I really do think, with our work, we see this as well, that we see some of the turmoil going on out there, that some of that is part of the healing process, where the individuals and they're influenced by the negativity are fighting hard not to allow it to happen. And we see that with our own energy sometimes, with people that, hey, as we're doing clearing, sometimes some of the heavy and dark and negative aspects have to come to the surface for healing. So it's like the old saying, things have to get worse before it gets better. I don't think it's totally inevitable, because there's techniques that can smooth it out and make it not so severe. But as we look at change in the whole universe, that seems to be part of the process. It's like, okay, the old has to come to the surface to be cleared and healed, and we're seeing that all over the place.
Yeah, I think it's been like the year of things coming to the surface, because all of these outside distractions kind of grinded to a halt, and we were left with the big questions that sometimes are scary to approach or even let come to the surface. And a lot of people sifted through some dark aspects of self during this last year, more less. And so yeah, it's a fascinating time in our history as human beings on this earth.
Well, we're in such an information age where everybody has access to social media and exchanging ideas, and oftentimes that just adds to the confusion. And there is a lot of confusion out there as to what's really going on, depending who any of us follow or research and look at. We form our own opinion based on hopefully well researched, what we believe to be facts. But what happens when we're looking at and interacting and seeing the public out there, there is a lot of confusion as to what to believe, what to trust, what to do, how to react, and oftentimes it comes out in fear and anxiety and panic and just total almost becoming immobile as far as just knowing what to do next. And sometimes we just have to get back to basics and go, okay, what's our core belief system? What have we always counted on? Is it a meditation? Is it a yoga? Is it a mantra? Is it prayers or something out there that we can really lean on back to get back to the core of our own spiritual values, and then try to simplify it versus complicate it?
So well said, Robert. And you know what you just said reminded me, we're all going through this. And there's so many questions and so much new information and so much confusion that even those people that we once relied on for guidance or a little bit of wisdom, or, to call up and get us straight, we're all going through it. And so what I think this, for me, for sure, and probably a lot of other people, hopefully, I've had to become my own compass, and I can't trust anything I read. And every person has a different opinion about what's going on and how it should be fixed. And so I've become extremely empowered in the sense that I've stepped away from all of that, and I'm trusting my intuition. I'm trusting those structures that I've created for myself that work for me. And I live in my very own happy little bubble. And I forget until I enter the real world that there are so many people suffering because it's written all over their faces. And it breaks my heart. And so I go out in the public and shoot them some love and smile and chat. And then I come back into my own happy bubble because it feels a lot better in here than it does a lot of other places.
Well, we see it everywhere we go, grocery stores and that people are so afraid. They have their faces covered with masks. You can barely see their eyes. You certainly can't see a smile, but the eyes tell a lot of stories. It tells the fear, the anxiety, uh, those kind of things just jump out. And the days of being able to see a smile are a lot rarer. And I get concerned as to what that's doing to our children and future generations and that, because as you know, I'm not a supporter of the masks. I think it's a big controlling situation going on. And I think we need to be able to see each other smile, see our lips move when we're talking, make those kind of connections again. And so I think this is all, it's a lot of the problems are just coming into more and more light. And a lot of it is, seeing the fear of a lot of people when we're out there, and sending them love and light. And, you and I both make an extra effort to be, we're typically nice with people anyway, but we make an extra effort to be over the top, polite, and that sort of stuff. I mean, I know I go out of my way to say hi and hello to everybody, especially if I see somebody that's, looks like they're just kind of in their own little world, and they might need somebody just to say hello to them. So I think it all boils down to all of us doing the best we can with our best practice and keeping, we don't have to be perfect all the time. There's going to be moments when we have our anxiety or anger or frustration that bubbles up. But I think if we can be the best we can be, stay positive and not fearful, and do some research on subjects we're not sure about, find out what's really going on. I think that's important.
Absolutely. Hey, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Do you want to spend 2 minutes, 3 minutes starting a script of what the new Eden, the Garden of Eden Earth might look like?
Well, why don't you start it out?
Okay. So one thing that I've learned, especially with the toilet paper crisis of last year is how delicate our supply line really, really is. And how, it dawned on me just this week, I can go into any grocery store in America and find all the same items, maybe differing brands, but for the most part, it's all the same. And that's so weird to me. And so, one thing I see for the future is us getting back to growing our own food, having community gardens, and, without using all these extra added chemicals, and knowing where our food is sourced. And there's a lot of people out there who are already really good at, searching for locally sourced items. But we live in a world of convenience. And I'm definitely willing to give up some of that convenience to create a healthier community. So that's one thing I see for the future, us growing our own food and returning to a diet that's less processed and more straight up from the earth. We're eating sunshine in the form of strawberries and spinach.
Well, and turning that into something more local.
Absolutely.
Too. As Edgar Casey always said in his readings that, eating fruits and vegetables and honey and all that within 50 miles of where you live, if possible, is a good way to go. But that's a transformation that certainly is a good image and a good visual.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And one thing that when I go there in my mind and I'm playing this game, if you will, is I'm painting that picture of what that would look like. Imagine cities like Chicago and New York with gardens everywhere. And imagine the tiniest little town in Arkansas or whatever, and how it would change our infrastructure and how it would change the way our buildings look and how our neighborhoods are designed, to have all this greenery, to have all this natural, organic landscaping. How cool does it look? And when I'm looking at it, it looks so cool, and people are so happy, and people are all united in the sense that we're feeding each other. And so everyone's got a role, and everyone's got a skill, and whatever you are, whoever you are, you're honored and you're valued and you're used for what you have, instead of having to go get a 9-to-5 job where you're stocking shelves at the grocery store. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So it's a beautiful place.
Well, it's cool, and that will fit a lot of people in this world that want to grow into something ideal like that. But there's also the place for the farmers out there to be more abundant and supported in their efforts to do things more naturally. What was that show we watched on TV?
It's called The American Farm.
It's an awesome program, very enlightening. They take like 5 different farms, and cotton farmer in the South, and different dairy farm, and then there's a vegetable farmer. But they really get into the world of the challenges, even with those that are trying to do the right thing, like grow with things with less fertilizer and how fragile that whole the whole process is. One rainstorm at the wrong time can rot the seeds,
Mm-hmm.
and just different things that can happen, and it's so fragile along the way. And I think as we all recognize and appreciate the bigger farmers that provide vast quantities of vegetables and fruits and stuff, that we see them being successful and abundant and having a better life than what some of them have. They work dusk till dawn and 7 days a week. So as we incorporate stuff into our own lives of being more appreciative, maybe even just starting with a plant of a couple of tomato plants out in the backyard or on the windowsill, it focuses on that. So I think it's a good image, Liz.
Thank you. Can I keep going?
Absolutely.
So one thing that bothers me about our society is this push to receive higher education and get hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt, and then get a very low paying job because you don't have experience, and then work your life away paying off this debt to retire and not have enough funds to support yourself. I think it's a completely broken system. I think a lot of people agree, and it doesn't work. So, one thing that I see for the future is changing the way we do education. And there's pockets of this all over the world. And we know some people who push their children in this direction. I have a lot of respect for it. But excuse me, the idea that, there's a lot to learn. Schooling be about working with Mother Nature and Earth, learning all sorts of trade, not so focused on getting the highest degree you can so you can make as much money as you can, but learning what you want to learn and having all the tools and resources necessary to develop what you might be interested in, not trying to fit yourself into a box, because we are so much bigger than a box, but to endeavor to figure out how to create those technologies that will help clean up our oceans, or figure out a way to heal all the animate kingdom. I just see schooling be fun and something that people want to do and want to succeed in, and have less pressure about having to do it this way, and it being way more open.
Now, Germany is a good example of how it's been done for years. It's not everybody decides to go to college. There's apprenticeships, whether you're going to work in a hotel and maybe be part of the housekeeping staff, or you go and you become an apprentice and you learn and you work your way up through the ranks, and you have pride in what you're doing no matter what it is, and you do the best you can. And that whole system for many years has been built on, that system of, hey, if I'm going to be a Mercedes mechanic, you go to school to learn maybe the engine or the suspension, and then you work your way through, but you have to prove yourself along the way through that apprenticeship system of, how skilled you are. So there is motivation to put your best effort forward and have pride in your work. There has to be some type of system that allows you to strive to do better, improve, and take it to the next level. And I think that system has worked pretty good for a lot of years. And it's not all about everybody going to college to get the highest degree. A lot of times people now go to school, get their degrees, and they don't ever use their degrees in whatever they do as a profession. Nothing wrong with that, to be educated, but it'd be nice to have more specialties within the education system.
Well, and I was never taught about the system in which I live. I was never taught about the credit score, or how to manage my finances. And if we're going to raise successful members of society, we should teach them the rules of the game. But obviously, we don't. There's some power that doesn't want us to be successful in that because it's rigged. So yeah, I see the future being very beautiful, full of colors, full of abundance and community and laughter, and less distractions, and more being in the moment, more cultivating mindfulness and open communication. And it's a lovely place. And
well, I appreciate you sharing your visuals on that, Liz. It's really great that's exactly what I was talking about, is you have that vision of where you see things getting better and improving in that. So let's take a little pause here, Liz.
Okay.
I'd like you to share a little bit about your Liz with Wings and what you do, and that, you have a great program going that's available for clients,
Yeah, absolutely. So, we talk a lot about what we do. So listen to our previous shows to get a lot more information, but I'm all about empowering, and I'm all about, teaching people about energies. And oftentimes we don't even know that there's more to gain, more to integrate into. And the proof is in the pudding. As this work works, we open up to higher energies and life changes. So I help people basically hold more light within their energetic body.
What I see, Liz, is what a great life coach you are, and what a great influence you are on people in their own ways of doing things. And I think I really recommend that people reach out and connect with you through liveswithwings.com. That's your website, right?
That is. Well, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I genuinely love people and care about people and I think where we are going to see change happen big picture, it first has to happen on an individual level. And, that's what I'm all about. And so, yes, if there's someone who just needs a buddy to talk to because they don't have that person in their life where they can share about these gifts that they have or these sensitivities that no one else seems to have, I was that person too. So I'm happy to chat. I love it. And I've priced my programs. I went back and thought about my lowest point in my life when I needed this work the most. And so I've priced my programs at that point where at my lowest, I would have been able to afford this work because there's so many of us out there who need this, who want this. And so I'm trying to position myself to help as many people as I can. And I think my prices are extremely affordable for the work that I do.
I think your programs are amazing. So that's the reason I just wanted to mention it here for anybody that's really looking for an amazing person to work with in so many different ways. And you can connect with her. She has an online calendar. It's all on her website, liveswithwings.com. So thanks, Liz. Thanks for doing what Robert. You do.
Yes.
So as we get into the next segment here, I kind of want to read something a little bit here. As I go back and think of old teachers that had an influence on me many years ago, especially in Huntsville, Alabama, but they're one of the basic teachers in the first metaphysics classes I took. She had this bit of wisdom. It says, metaphysics is a simple science, almost too simple, and that is one of the greatest challenges. In his search for understanding, man expects to fight his way to some great secret hidden in the universe. He suspects that the forces which guide the universe are guarding some great secret to be wrestled from their grasp. This is just not so. The principles and the laws governing our existence, once reduced to their first cause and source, are simple and easy to understand. The thing that is hard to comprehend is how something so simple could have gotten to be wrapped up in confusion as to boggle the mind of the average person. I love that bit of wisdom because I think as we deal with situations and even sometimes our own mind and thoughts about stuff, it's really easy to make it a lot more complex than what it really is, and to try to dig too deep and to look for that magic bean and magic answers when going back to basics is really what that is referring to. And oftentimes in everything we're trying to find a solution for, we're looking for some external source that may be a meaning of, hey, why did I just get mad about this? Or what's going on? Why did this happen? Why did that chicken just cross the road in front of me? There's always got to be some kind of answer that is outside self, when most of the answers are right within self. What are we thinking in that?
Yes, I love that, Robert. And that saying, that mantra, the answer is within you, used to piss me off because I didn't get it. I didn't understand. And how could, when I viewed myself as broken or damaged goods, how could the answer possibly be within myself? But no, I love what you've added to this. And the point is, you're right. There are so many external sources that we can go, but you're right. The answer is within us. And, oh, yes, please.
Well, over the years, we call it the magic bean, but people are sometimes like, what can I do? Is there something that I can do? Is there some saying? Can I light a candle and put a crystal right in front of me, and all of a sudden all my problems are fixed and everything's solved? And I wish I had a magic bean like that I could hand out. We were talking a bit about what Liz offers. Well, in our work, the things we do are a process. It's not instant. It's a matter of building foundational levels of clearing energies, building a foundation of consciousness, and helping people understand how to get there step by step, and how to be patient, and how I allow it to happen, and not just get all over the map trying to figure out why you're not getting there faster than what you think you should.
I agree with you. I'm also going to add the results happen though. Getting in that initial week, you can feel the results immediately, because most likely you're carrying something around that's having an impact on your physical or your emotional or your mental or your confidence. And to remove that, there is a big difference immediately,
Oh,
I would say.
Definitely.
But then when it comes to learning that the answer is within you, it takes a lot of work. I've worked a lot on myself to get to where I am. And it's not always pleasant, but it is so rewarding.
It goes hand in hand with processes, but the processes take time, and it's not that we can magically hand this little mantra out to somebody and it fixes all the problems. The processes we do have taken years to practice and develop and incorporate into what we do. And as we look at people, oftentimes that initial clearing can make a huge difference, but we can't teach somebody how to do it instantly.
Sure.
It takes building out their own connections with divine source, with their own system, and learning some of the foundational techniques of healing thyself first.
Absolutely.
With assistance. We all need assistance at certain levels, but that's the key. If you want to be a healer out there, work on healing yourself first, and then you'll become a more effective healer as you move forward into working with somebody else. But that's the key to expanded consciousness, is the key to ascension, is to, try to keep it fairly simple. Don't look for, like a lot of people are being told, hey, you're under attack, or there's a couple of entities in your field. Well, that's not the cause, okay? That can be a result of things, habits, thoughts, fears, and that kind of stuff. But the magic is to maybe find some help to get that cleared up, but get on a really path of introspecting, looking at self, consciousness looking at self, as Eckhart Tolle would say. So that's the real secret to development, and keep it simple in the scheme of processes, and allow them to expand.
Yeah. If it's taken you 45 years to get to where you are now, you've built up a lot of ideologies, patterns of thinking, personality quirks, and to unravel that doesn't happen over a week or in a night or in a month. So yeah, I love what you're saying. Thanks, Robert.
Well, there's a passage in the I Ching, the Book of Changes, and there's many versions of it out there, and I have several, and I love them all. One of them is a big old thick I Ching book that I found in a used bookstore up in North Alabama somewhere, and just kind of jumped off the shelf
Cool.
at me, and it's been a source of wisdom for me a lot. But I want to share this little passage from that. Ordinary worldly religions and teachings attract ordinary minds. Their tenets, like haphazard vines, spread every which way. Illusory and idealistic, they attempt to explain reality, but fall short, unable to penetrate their own blind spot. They attract weak spirits who must cling to something stronger than themselves. Follow this crude way of brushy and believing with self-development, and what you will experience is but a void. After you experience the truth, you will know why Sheen cultivation emphasizes self-realization and transformation. Therein lies the answer to the puzzle of oral and written obstacles. First, strengthen yourself. Then you can influence your environment. All parts of your body and spirit will become like hands and eyes. Develop your mental ability until it's round, full, and smooth as a pearl. Then reap the reward. Fearing danger is no more. You will easily shake free of the bondage. The subtle heavenly law will appear within you and through you, and because you have succeeded in the spirit of sharpness, truly, while living in the world, you will continue to surpass and transcend to its mundane problems and difficulties. Divine awareness always appears, helping you as you go, while leaving your spiritual ego in union with all being, heaven and earth, and are in union with one. For we are of the same origin. Realize this and become the strong seed of the whole being. Sorry, that wasn't smoother. I couldn't see the print.
No, it's kind of written weird, but I love that. That gave me a lot of goosebumps.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And that's right on with what you were talking about.
Yeah, strengthening self. And I know in my own world of development, and we're always, no matter where we think we've achieved in spiritual growth, there's always work to be done. There's always new levels and layers and things that come up that you thought you healed before, right?
Yes. You know, something that jumped out at me, let me find it on this page. If you have anything to talk about, to fill some time.
Please look at that.
It is awful font to read. Oh my gosh.
The font is bad. So I should have did a different version of that.
I'll just recall. It said something about basically, instead of being influenced by your environment, influenced by the energies around you, you become an influencer of the energies around you. So there's this idea that we are helpless prisoners to our environment, but once you get to a certain point, you can change the frequency around you. You can modulate your own frequency, and it has an impact on the world, on the people within your circle, the people you're around, the people who are on the cereal aisle with you. And it is so nice to get to this point, because you're not prisoner to the energies of other people and the energies that are being thrown at you. And you can, like I said at the beginning, create your own happy bubble and then share that with people you're around. It's great.
Yeah, well said, Liz. And that sums it up very nicely as the point we're trying to make here is, we each need to be responsible for self, and what we think about, how we respond to situations and environment. That's the most important thing. And, tools, there's so many different tools out there. And I recommend, don't just linger with one of them, explore, various modalities and maybe blend together things that feel right to you. Because, just because somebody put out a methodology, they did that for their own development and they've influenced people and had some successes, but you can take bits and pieces of the best of the wisdom and advice that you get and make your own set of modality, create it. You're empowered to do that.
I love that. Yeah, there's this idea that there's these rules we must follow as a human, and it's black and white, and that's just not true. And when you look at it, when you step back and kind of get a big picture view, you'll realize that that's not true. And so it's liberating. Mm-hmm. What you just said is extremely, it's like a sigh of relief to some people on the other end. Like, you don't have to follow this step, and then do this, and then do this. What works for you, and then go out and do it. I love that. Thank you for saying that.
I get so inspired by, sometimes I like to play golf, so I'll be on the golf course, but I'll see somebody in their backyard, just down on their hands and knees with a little spade, working the garden just diligently, and I can feel them in that Zen mode, just working through whatever's going on in their mind, at peace, and just processing, and being so grounded and working, and then you see the results of what they're trying to beautify. We've seen that sometimes taking walks around our neighborhood where some neighbors will be out there beautifying, and it may not be something we'd want in our yard, but we'll stop and compliment and say how nice that looks, and you see a smile and a bit of pride come into their face. But that's that methodology they're using about digging in the dirt, or whatever it is they're doing, doing a painting, something inspirational. That's what we're talking about, blended together with it's all a spiritual practice when it comes right down to it.
Yes. I love that. And that's kind of in line with, what's coming through right now is we all come to this experience with different gifts and different ideas and different skill sets and different viewpoints of the same thing. And then we are programmed to not be that, and to be this, and to go to college, and to, work in a cubicle. And no, I'm calling for you to be unabashedly who you are and who you feel you are, because you bring a spark, a certain color, a frequency to this planet that we need. And I don't want you to be ashamed of who you are or how you feel. Own it. And the more people that own who they are, the quicker things are going to change for the better.
Liz, let's take a little pause here. I appreciate the way I love the enthusiasm that you're sharing with all of us this morning and the clarity. It's obvious to me that you're having some real inspired thought.
Finally, it's taken like
it's great.
4 hours this morning. No, but thank you, baby. I appreciate that.
Well, one of the things I want to just share is that, as we all grow in consciousness, it's an old piece of wisdom that the more we know, the more we don't know. And, I find that I've been looking at the techniques that I use, I've been doing for over 35 years. And I go back through some of my own notes and studies and things that I've learned. And it just kind of re-exhilarates me to the fact that, wow, that wisdom from before applies more so today than it ever did. And when I first read it, I really didn't comprehend it, but I wonder now, why did I highlight it if it didn't make sense? I highlighted it and well, if I highlighted it, why didn't I apply it or put it into practice? No. But, it's that expansiveness of, within the framework of what I'm doing within my own routines, and that I realize every day that, I've learned some pretty cool things, but in the scheme of things, I really don't know anything. And this applies to just about every principle. I know the masters in some channelings talking about karma, and they're like, in human terms, you don't, and even the best that anybody has thought they comprehended, they're not even close. They don't get it. They don't know all the fine points and really is going on behind the scenes in the scope of what's cosmic out there, not just the earth plane. So, that mind-boggling thing. So, I get excited when I see people get those aha moments as they're, kind of new on the path in this lifetime on the spiritual exploration. And, it's refreshing to me to feel it and see it. And it just reminds me of where I've been, maybe where I'm going to in the scope of not really understanding what's real out there. Sometimes we do the best we can,
Absolutely. I love that.
I think one of the things I wanted to talk a little bit about, Liz, just briefly on karma, is that so much as we look at the world situation out there and people talk about karma, and they talk about, well, karma will come around to them, or, you wish karma on them. We kind of all got to realize karma is a natural phenomenon, and it's not always about what we might think is justice. We don't balance karma by wishing something worse on somebody else. We're thinking they need to go through this to balance karma, to learn their lessons. We don't really know how it fits in the picture, but to wish karma on somebody, or to wish some kind of justice or something happens, may be totally out of scope of what's really necessary for karma to be balanced. And a lot of people, as I'm looking at their practices out there, have it totally opposite. And got to be really careful if we're putting out thoughts that, well, what goes around comes around. They'll get their karma. Payback will be hell. Karma will be hell. We got to watch that.
Yeah.
Because we're creating karma for ourselves.
Sure.
And if we're wishing somebody else to suffer to equalize what somebody else or ourselves have been through, that is not the way to practice it. That's the thing where we turn it over to God, to the universe, to the angels and the masters, and say, divine ones, we want to manifest the best on this planet, and even though we think we understand maybe the system, we're turning it over to you to do the best that you can.
And they are good at it. I have a story in mind that I'm not going to share on the radio, but I was thinking about it this morning. It's a story of karma, and it involved me staying out of it and not, I was able to see the karma come around. And the way it came around, it was gentle. and hilarious and orchestrated in such a way that I couldn't have hired a producer in Hollywood to come up with a better ending on the goes around comes around karma of this particular situation. So I am right in line with you. The divine have so much better understanding of what it is, and they are so much better at making it happen in a way that comes from the higher realms. It's not that this human, oh, my feelings were really hurt and I, hope her feelings are really hurt too. No, they are so much better at it. So yeah, I think not getting caught up in the idea of karma is a really healthy way to go about it, because it's going to happen regardless.
Right. Just smile and relax and sit back and go, well, hey, what's supposed to happen? And the cool thing about karma in modern times with accelerated consciousness that seems evident in some places, but I mean, seriously, if we can, what we really want humanity and each other and ourselves to do is learn the lessons without experiencing the karma.
Yes.
And that option is there, but it's not up to me to decide, did somebody learn their lesson, or do they need, that the universe is going to take care of that. Yes. It's an automated process that goes, hey, and so we can sit back and smile and know that, in the worst of situations, it's going to be dealt with cosmically, universally, divinely in the way it's supposed to be, and not necessarily in our own timing. It has to be divine timing, and it may not be when we want it, which we all want it now, but it will balance out. And sometimes it's hard to remember that, and when we get fearful and anxious and angry in that, that's one of the things I remind myself of is like, listen, we take care of ourselves.
Let go and let God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a big lesson for anybody on a spiritual path. It doesn't mean you don't take action where you need to. Okay, there's times we need to speak up or get active in some cause or something that needs to be done. But in the scheme of energetically, let it play out.
Yeah, and if you're dealing with people who are just the scum of the earth and stirring up so much stuff, and you can't reach them and you can't speak the truth and you can't get to them, get up and walk away. They are not worth your time and energy. So I sponsor that y'all learn that sooner rather than later, because those people are not worth your time and your love. And there are so many people out there who want to absorb your love and attention up like a sponge. So, become aware of that. Don't waste your energy on someone who's not going to change.
I think about the little old lady at Waffle House that's been on a double shift, and I walk in for an early breakfast and, good morning, how are you? Can I get you a cup of coffee? Oh my gosh, that's a person that's doing well at balancing whatever karma is going on, reflecting a good energy of it. And that's to me, there a lot of them are the angels walking the earth, as well as a lot of people out there. A lot of our healthcare workers and volunteers and firemen and policemen, and that really are good people. Good people in every walk of life. There's more of them than there's not. Like we said earlier, sometimes the news and that gives us a different perspective, what's getting highlighted.
Yeah, sometimes we just need to be reminded of who we are or why we're here or that we are good. Because I think we can get lost in the walk of life, and we can get told things by a number of different people that are not true. So we're here to remind you how divine you are.
Well, as we wrap up today, can we do a little closing visualization with everybody?
Lead the way.
All right. I just want everybody to just pause a minute, eyes closed, open, doesn't matter, sitting, standing. But I want you to just now let go and release anything that's coming up. If you feel any kind of stress or anything that's the pot got stirred, and anything you're thinking about going on around you, anything we might have said, just feel that location. Is it the heart chakra? Is it the solar plexus? You have a little bit of a headache. See it releasing, see it all being cleared out, and see a divine source, the angels and ascended masters, just running through your whole chakra in your system, your energy field, and bringing in all kinds of white light, love, wisdom, justice, freedom, equality, all the beautiful healing energies that are available from the universe, specific things you need coming in. Feel your energy field coming closer to your physical body. As we get on spiritual chat sometimes, they get out 8-10 feet. We want to see these brought closer. Feel them coming close now with arm's length distance of your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, your etheric, all coming into alignment, integration, filtering out any kind of stress, filtering out any kind of information or energies that you want, cleaning it up, aligning, balancing, claiming it as your own energies. And as we think about things that we've done in the past that are great and wonderful, past lives included, let's bring those beneficial aspects forward, bring them into our life where we've had successes, where we've had happiness, where we've had health and well-being and love. Bring that forward now into your energies and claim them. They're yours. It's your universal right and value. And that's claim them now, bring them forward and integrate it into that. And we ask the divine ones to incorporate that into your karmic and akashic records to make sure you're getting credit for all the wonderful thoughts and feelings and actions that you've done in all the lifetimes. Bring it forward now and claim it, integrate with it. It's very important. And just see the energies aligning. You're cutting cords, you're clearing connections with anybody that may have some troubled energies, to just cut those cords, send them love and healing, send them the necessary healing energies, and then just let it go. Turn it over to the angels and masters, all within their life stream and life's mission, within the confines of their own karma. So as we let go of all that now, let's let all these energies integrate. Just after this program, just pause for 10 minutes and allow these energies to integrate with you. Meditate on it a little bit. Just allow all the beautiful energies, and that you receive downloads of wisdom and clarity and understanding for any situation you're involved in, anything that you need, anything that you're requesting the divine. We're asking that clarity come into you now and it be received and integrated. And with that, we ask that you also all be grounded. If you have to drive a car somewhere soon, that you're grounded and aligned and able to do that. But we appreciate you being on the program with us today. You can reach us at livewithwings.com or sedforyou.com and get any information on how to make an appointment with us. We have complimentary initial calls that you can schedule. We'd love to talk to you. So thanks for being out there, and thanks for listening. And Liz, thank you for your wonderful bits of wisdom that have come through on this program and your energies associated with it.
Well, thank you, Robert, and thank y'all for joining us. We so appreciate you. We're proud of you, and we look forward to hearing from you.
And we appreciate the CTR network and
Yes.
Cameron and them having this program and allowing us access to it, and the wonderful service that they do with bringing out different people that have lots to contribute in the way of wisdom to be shared with you. So thanks, and everybody have a great day.